and buy some space and buy some time for her team.
Take a look at Agent Select. I'm not expecting anything different, and yeah, it seems like a mirror comp on both sides. The same comps that we saw just a little bit ago, actually, in the previous series. So
GX definitely need to be a little bit careful that they don't end up getting boxed in. They have, however, found a little bit of a gap, but a chance for the starter to slow them down or even segment them as Smurfette has gone on ahead.
3 players moving through that spawn. It does mean that MIBR will play this much more passive. That's given opportunities, though, for GX to decide where they want to take the fight. And it looks like a crunch towards the spawn is the plan. Paranoia will slow them down in that line of thinking, and Toki sitting inside the orb won't be challenged, but it's inside a garage that Ness ends up going down, but gets one. It keeps them in with a chance of keeping control. Spam is good, damage done, but a 2 versus 2 with Smurfette so desperately low seems favored for MIBR. It seems destined to be theirs, but Smurfette claims the pistol for GX.
Much of an investment. In fact, there's barely anything for MIBR here.
That's exactly what you'd expect. It's exactly what GX did as well, as you said. That's why Smurfette's confident to just walk this up. Although she has been caught without her weapon in hand. So it's going to be a pretty easy pickup for MIBR on that backside of C.
Well, it's not a bad start. The gamble rotation as well is okay. We found a pick on C. Chances are they won't go C. So let's now move that gamble stack over to the A side. 4 players currently waiting, and that's exactly where the GX build is looking to make a move. Ness might get caught here. This fight could be everything. That's now a 2-player advantage as they go running into a stacked site. MIBR are in a perfect position here to potentially win a round that was a flat-out eco, which they've done it with 4 standing.
Oh, that's gotta hurt, especially with that weapon from C Long being taken onto that backside of A, finding a double in the late round, the first one being the most important. It was a headshot. You want them to have that little bit of a leg room, a little bit of space to work with, but right now, well, the shoe's on the other foot. It's MIBR off to a flying start. Pressure will be put onto them early as it looks like Smurfette is out for vengeance and has at least found one.
A lot of damage done onto her, and Sarah's desperately low. Well, no, Sarah's gone completely. With SRN just holding the line with the Outlaw. This is a player that you can't really afford to peek if you're on the other side. In fact, nobody can take a single shot from that gun. A tough hold, to say the least, and SRN already building up those numbers. We know the stats for her are going to be phenomenal throughout this tournament. There's no doubt about that, but it is just a straight-up cleanup. 3 kills with a classic to close.
Yeah, this is a massive start for that defensive side. I'll keep in mind GX's map pick as well. This corner has to be cleared, and we start with the drone going out. That could be exactly what happens. Corner check. Yes, it is. And now in trouble is Melissa. There's no way out from L. Caught and deleted as SRN tries to trade out damage. And with Smurfette and Ava down to 1 hit, this round could very well flip into their favor. But SRN falls and MIBR under so much pressure. They've rotated the whole squad through, but they've not found a pick till it's a 1v5. Nice job to start it off. Bastarda gets 3 and gets out of there. Reset into the 1v2, and both players are 1 hit. This could be MIBR's round with an ace.
Just needs to find a single shot. The jump down will be incredibly difficult. That's the first, and only Ava remains, and it's going to be a complete rotation. Bastarda realizing that she has the time. 1 bullet will do the trick, just trying to find that final player, but couldn't quite manage it. And it's going to be Eva to cling to life, but that was almost the play of the tournament on the very first day.
That was absolutely outrageous to find that much value. And you know, we talk about individuals and we talked about SRN, and sure, we got to see some of it there, but what in the world was that? You know, the players that were low weren't even the ones she started with taking down. Those were 3 full HP players swinging in. The spacing wasn't even that bad. It could have been a little bit better, but hell, you're in a 5v1. You don't think she's going to pull out a Goliath performance like that. anything but a boring map so far. Crazy rounds to start this out. As we go into round 5, though, it's rifles for both. We've seen the Hunter's Fury burned up in the previous round by GX, though, at the start as well. No surprise with the performance that we just saw. Has that ult online, so the possibility to play the lockdown is there, but they're going aggressive, holding this control on short, fighting tooth and nail for every meter of map control on this A site.
Melissa stuck in the mud. Poki's done well. SRN, though, trying to be the hero. And a decent attempt. This time, well, it's only 2 needed for Bastarda. Has taken the space, and already one player detained the ball back from Sarah, not realizing how far forward she's got. With Toki currently detained, she's not going to be caught. We'll be able to at least fight when the time's right. Ultimate not quite online. An orb take here would do the trick, but I'm definitely not sure that's worth the risk. And Bastarda is actually starting to rotate away.
30 seconds
Not
left.
quite the right read in this scenario, but of course Toki's going to have to take her time in clearing every angle before going for that plant.
Yeah, that's given the info. Bastarda on her way and holding the right angle, the right time, but the spray doesn't land! Denied the clutch again, but she's been putting in the work. It's Toki to claim the lead.
I will say, though, last time that was the case, that might be our won the round.
Oh, what a shot from Sarah, but it is returned by Sayuri. A 4v4, and we've seen how desperately dangerous those pistols are. As you said, Tom, she's taken full control here. Outlaw in hand, seen nothing. So they probably think someone's on short, but the spike can easily just get in there for the plant. Unfortunately, Ness has gone walkabouts, and now their flank is open, and there's a rifle to be retrieved. With the advantage and the Hunter's Fury for MIBR, this is now a very scary round yet again.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential in this one. Luckily, Melissa is on the other side of the map, so it's not going to be a plant denial from that Hunter's Fury. When the time starts ticking, that's where you really feel like GX will find their favor. And that Hunter's Fury could instead be used to try and clear some of the positions already in play. And as you mentioned, with a rifle now found, it might be worth the risk.
Stealing sight. Well, here we go. It seems like they were going to go for it, but then the paranoia came through to disrupt its ball. Oh, a bit of time! Toki tears them down and puts this into a 2v2. Much more winnable as Ava finds another and is ready for the final fight. GX 4-2 in the lead. They won the pistol and went 2-1 down. I was getting worried, but with how these rounds have gone, they've shown that they are capable. 4 players have come down mid. They have got complete control. The turret watching C, they're worried maybe someone's around there, but now they know that this A hit's coming through. And you might expect 1 flanker. Hell, you might expect a second after that alarm bot gets broken. But if you expect 4, you're mad.
They've got the one player with Hunter's Fury is the one that's not flanking, so it wouldn't give the game away if they're going to try and use it. Toki, though, has spotted out and been able to retreat just about. SRM was quick on her heels. Toki's now going to delay them. And that flank's value is somewhat dissipated. In fact, there's aggression on the other side. They're trying to pick off Melissa. They're trying to push her out of this heaven position. She needs to hold this, otherwise the flank becomes the only avenue, and she has managed to hold it. 2 players dropped. Toki, though, still standing.
They're defusing. That lockdown won't matter if it's diffused all the way. It's time to swing on in and look for the kills. As, yes, those players will be detained, but at the end of the day, a win is a win. And the pit even denies those players being taken down.
The fact that Melissa manages to get 2 kills there is just massively impressive.
Oh my goodness!
It's just rage at this point.
Oh.
Pure fight into the site. Toki's TP'd heaven, and well, and the funny thing is this was the fate. They were planning to go the other way, and now they're kind of like, well, guys, we have A. I get that you have C, but like, Toki's now just fighting. By the way, she used the TP at the beginning of the round, so she can't rotate.
Yeah, it is going to be a long rotation that they have read. The fact that that spike wasn't even tapped by now makes it clear that that is the idea, to move towards C late. The plant has been acquired as a result. They've denied the Omen TP from Sayuri, so no early rotation towards C long. It's going to be a much more two-dimensional approach. The smoke went up in time, and they've gone pushing out one by one into the hands of Sarah. They have been crushed as a result. MIBR, great round in the previous, but GX right back on the board.
Yeah, these have always been the plays that... It's why if you've ever watched Smurfette over in EMEA or maybe even in early stages of champs, she's so enjoyable to watch because sometimes there will be rounds where you feel like the strat is just Smurfette send it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely the rounds that they have, I think, looked the best in so far. Certainly most consistently putting up those numbers. At least bringing it into like a 1v1 in the end. Smurfette, though, having none of it. That's a headshot on Elisa. It doesn't matter.
Maybe just swing out of a smoke.
Although SRN has got a double! What? That's the spike down as well! How's she gotten away with that? A 4 versus 3 now. Hunter's Fury online. Spike needs to be retrieved. All that control that they could have had from the space given up by MIBR. Those gaps have now been padded. Now make it look favorable. That's a judge up close. This is a dangerous fight to take.
30 seconds.
Oh, they have no idea. And of course they have no idea. Smurfette has been able to trade them, and the rest of the players are very far away. Lockdown gone. That's at least something, but it's also whether or not they're going to be able... Yeah, they have. They've retrieved a couple of the weapons. Further denial. Bear in mind, look at the clock. At this stage, that's another player down, and in fact, SRN catches the aggressor of Ness. It's crazy what they're able to do in these rounds, and of course, no surprise, it is our MasterCard Thrifty.
And no surprise, a timeout for GX after how that one went. You see SRN up on their feet, and you think, okay, hey, we got to take a moment, let them cool off, and let us heat back up. Because, again, it has been such a big problem for GX to deal with these low buys. And I get it, you know. It's similar to how GX found that advantage in the previous round by Smurfette putting so much pressure.
Is to go back to that same A-site execution with the Hunter's Fury. It worked wonders for them last time they attempted it, with the sheer pace they hit with. 3 players are waiting, though. One of them is SRN.
I don't think they're waiting, Tom. I don't think they're waiting at all. SRN's running it down, looking for the fight right off rip, and she's gonna get it! 1 already claimed, but Smurfette's there, returning it, and putting GX into the lead. A 3 versus 2 advantage for the attack, and there's no early flank. Bastarda's miles away, lockdown's in play, but with the Hunter's Fury, it would just be countered out. Oh, and already Toki's watching the flank. So for Lisa, this one feels like it's already done, and the smoke fading is played very much against her.
Toki has been superb in all of the positions that they've needed her to be in. If she continues to play like this, it is a fantastic sign for GX. And well, once again, we're going to see one of these lighter buys and a much more direct approach. Once more, a C hit with no resistance.
Yeah, full take for GX, easy as can be.
Spike planted.
But it's the retake for MIBR that I'm worried about. They've kept up all that utility.
There.
Not even going to have to wait for any of it to refresh. You can already see the ping up top waiting for the Sova reveal to come through, but
Did they use lockdown?
it started.
There.
With the drone being sent into play, it doesn't look like lockdown's going to be put in. Instead, it's a full push out. Bastarda's already taken down Ness. Hunter's Fury put into place. Smurfette completely surrounded. The backside push has worked. With Toki now trying to hold her ground, but players all over. It relies on players like Sarah. Diffuse underway, half already. Inside the smoke, the sprays weren't landing, but finally they do just in the nick of time. GX 7 on the board, a guaranteed lead at the half on their map pick.
It's a lot of the time, this is the half where you have that expectation for a squad like GX. This time it was all about clinging to life almost. It was another fantastic start to the retake.
Let's go!
The Hunter's Fury definitely helped her.
Yeah, this is a great position. It's been a crazy game so far, delivering here on Haven and Abyss and Split. I have high hopes for. High hopes we get to Split, but we'll see. That's up to these teams. Well, second best at least. No bind here.
Meh. Well, 4 players set up. It seems like a guaranteed, use of the lockdown.
With the pit later on, though?
Lisa as well catching that alert.
Spike planted.
They've got themselves into a pretty decent position. Now, you mentioned the pit, but it's kind of on the wrong side of the map right now. It will have to be a late rotation in from Sarah, and already they're onto this diffuser. Somebody needs to get in and try and deny this one. They got it to half. That's not a bad start whatsoever, but the utility is slowing them down. Another couple drops. Sarah spams. They did well last time, but she needs a whole lot more. They're just diffusing. MIBR will get themselves to 5. And maybe the close half that we kind of deserved in the end.
Go, go, go.
She'll be pulling out the operator at some point, but we'll have to wait a little bit for that. B-site take. Normally the more comfortable to get in, but it's whether or not you can hold on to it. Bastarda was watching for the rotation and the timing where the turret's going to give the game away. And while her and Melissa will combine, already leaving this in a nasty deficit, and it got even worse for GX. Toki dropped. Here and Sarah, all that remain, but just look at the positions of the attackers. I was going to say they don't even need to peek, but SRN needed to peek.
I mean, I would say they didn't even need to throw that extra nano at this point. Ava can sit there and go, I did some extra economy damage. I got rid of that utility. Look at that.
Of a deficit for this one, but still a very strong buy, and especially when you consider they're on the attack now. They have the opportunity to group up, play a faster round. This could make things fairly difficult for the side of GX. Now, Toki had a fantastic start to the game, and well, looking to continue that. Her and Ava combining. We'll give them a player advantage, but still plenty of chance to respond. I'm looking at 3 players, though, on that A site already, Mitch, and they may just need to fall back off this one. Yeah.
I think they're drawing those rotations, leaving Lisa to take A, sending the spike back in that direction, because keep in mind, you've seen the Neon, you've heard the Neon, you saw the reveal in Garage as well, so now you think, oh, there's 2 Garage, maybe there's 1 long, that's the full rotate, and now you start to realize just how silly you've been. GX, they've been sold. And the A side has been fully overtaken with an easy plant to be secured.
I was wondering whether or not we'll see Lisa set up with the orb, but she's hoping that, yeah, she can find someone first, but nobody rotates in. Now you have that orb for a post-plant flood. Not going to allow them in with relative ease, but it seems like SRN is almost going to play ahead of it and use that orb as an escape plan. The fact is, though, GX have other ideas. They're going all the way around the back instead. But those steps likely will have been heard. SRM being spotted, and Toki again winning the high-impact fight, the one that was needed. The remaining 2 now looking to fight towards long, and it's not gone to plan. Lisa is all that's left, and Smurfette will deal with her as well. What looked like a dangerous round ends with 4 standing for GX.
What had gone wrong? Because when there were 4 players on the B site, it looks like, okay, it's a 3v4, but the upper hand's maybe in MIBR's favor, but very nice adjustment from GX, gets them the lead.
Luckily for them, that was just a bonus round. And while the early firefights looked like it could have gone Sarah's way, instead, a bullet bitten from SRN. And a chance at a response. Bastarda just so patient, lurking through, and expects both players to battle. It will now only be Ava standing. And well, it's a ring around a Rosie. It feels like she's almost being tracked at this stage, with Lisa making her way through the A site.
Spike planted.
This is going to be a pretty easy take at the C side. Fully open by GX. Almost forced into a retake. Are they going to try to get in here on the plant? Surely not. Look, Toki's so close to that smoke. They're going to fire in! MIBR overrun to start with. Hunter's Fury finds one, but SRN behind enemy lines has to try to find an angle to fight from. There's a flank coming around from Ava, and that may be what seals the deal for GX as a 2v1 now in play. Smurfette and Ava up against SRN with a minute on the clock, a 1v1, and so close! MIBR, this has been the story of Haven. So close to connecting these clutches, but it always...
And well, for the attack, it seemed like their economy might have run dry, but they do still have a purchase of swords. Look at the defense. Look, they've already pushed all the way up. Bastarda, normally the one with the element of surprise. Instead, she's the one surprised. And while Ava has increased that advantage, Melissa has managed to push through, though. Time is going to be absolutely everything. A 3 onto 1, and they brought it back again.
You never can count them out. This game is...
Anyone. You can't count anyone out.
It's a game of madness. Look at this light lurk as well coming through from Lisa. If they can buy a little bit of time, but it looks like the other players on site are playing aggressive. They're holding for the push through the smoke, and that might be a mistake. Sayori has been spotted now, and they're emerging from the smoke to drop her as finally the flank comes through, but too little, too late. GX extending their lead, double digits on the board now for that defensive side, and their map pick that started out, it seemed like they were in treacherous territory. They went 2-1 down after winning the pistol, and MIBR had some crazy close plays that almost gave some clutches that would have locked in the lead, and here they are, 10-8.
Yeah, I love this round in general from GX because you've had some incredibly close moments of one player surviving, and a lot of teams will have that thought in the back of your head of, okay, maybe we need to play this one a little bit more safe. They might have a few pieces missing. Who is careful?
Oh, going back out for more. One in the chamber and one on the floor.
Smurfette isn't careful.
Not even slightly, as another will be found. The cost paid, but with damage done onto SRN, with rotates only one player on site right now. They could pressure Ness, and it looks like that's exactly what they'll do. They find it after just one. The trade's good. The spam's not quite there. That spray was shaky. Ava, though, corrects it in the end. Again, it is one where MIBR do a lot more than you'd expect them to, but 11-8 nonetheless. GX seem to be entering the home stretch of Haven. Their pick.
Of course, Abyss is one where, going off past stats, I think you'd fairly heavily favor MIBR, so they're not going to be down and out just yet, but the confidence is definitely rising. Smurfette finds the opener once again. The lurk of Lisa shut down, but the B site has fallen, especially with a potential post-plant lockdown that could be nasty. They're looking to try and get a little bit aggressive, but they've kind of put themselves into a tight choke.
Big mistake up against the Hunter's Fury. One found and damage done. Melissa managed to find a Hunter's Fury of her own, but I'm not sure if she's going to get the chance to use it. Lockdown put into play. Good damage, but Bastarda's all alone. And that lockdown will not survive very long at all. GX, they make that look easy. I mean, the first fight with Hunter's Fury is whatever, but they flood in completely overwhelming MIBR after. Leaves that online, which is important when Ness has that lockdown to work with. Otherwise, that's a tool that will just be thrown through. But it also kind of means MIBR need to save it. You throw it through here to win the round, to get a couple kills, to do some damage, to clear space for whatever reason. Then next round, they have that lockdown to work with. And already, smokes are down. So Yuri's out of play. And the movement towards A site seems to be locked in, but they haven't cleared their corners. Smurfette somehow gets away with two. And I mean away, because she's out of here. But so are Sarah and Toki. They've been dropped by Bastarda in another sensational effort. And maybe this time they can connect the dub on the back of it.
Though. The cross might be difficult. Yeah, no, there's no way she gets through. It's down to Bastarda to try and right the wrongs of the last ace attempt. She's going to have to try it again, and it's not happening. GX will take home their map choice of Haven in the 13-8 fashion.
I'm curious what MIBR have cooked up, because with the changes coming through for Cypher, it is really hard to hold down the fort.
I think something else we touched on earlier in the show, this will be the first opportunity for us to look at the reworked Abyss. So a couple of changes to the Cypher, a couple of changes to the map as well.
Your Omen and Astra ideas. I like this from GX. So much to work with. On the defensive side, I think they'll find more of that value when they come to the attack, with how much control they're going to be able to deny early and how difficult it will be for initiators to reclaim. But here in the pistol, MIBR have already got space, a plant, and they're looking for deep aggression. SRN about to step through that smoke perhaps, or as the smoke fades, look for the fight, but Toki waiting on the other side, grabs the opening of the round. An immediate response from MIBR though, leaves Eva all alone. 1v3, damage done to Bastarda, but it's not even gonna come close.
Yeah, definitely the start they were looking for. I think the last map wasn't necessarily damning with, I would say, the first like 16 rounds or so, but the last like chunk.
Coming into round 3. A very strong buy for MIBR, and they're backing it up, putting through the Hunter's Fury. It's found a tag. Sarah's being hunted, and she will be dropped. An immediate advantage found for the attackers. MIBR from this point, especially knowing you're not running into Sentinel util when you hit, they could just decide to group as 5, but instead the B fake is called for, and that's going to put numbers back to even.
It's whether or not there's any level of hesitation from Ness. There it is. She was immediately rotating, now goes back to watch her own smoke, but Melissa is already out of it. The fake worked at least enough. Get them that opener and get them the space, and now for the 3 players left on the retake, bear in mind that this is technically a bonus of sorts, but not really with the amount of rifles that are in play. You almost have to question for the defense, is this worth going for? Can you find a gap?
Certainly seems like they're looking for it. Already dropped out of heaven, yep. Full commitment. Something has to block off main. The smoke.
Hello.
And, oh, that's nasty. The little cam on the spike is going to find a tag. Shock dart goes through. Damage being done. Lots of damage being done. Melissa's got the double. They tried to body block the shots, but that doesn't quite work with the shock darts.
Well, if this ended 9-3, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. We're yet to see what GX have to offer on this defense, and while the pressure looking like it's already about to come in onto that A side.
Oh, it certainly is. A dive in as SRN takes control. The rest of the squad eventually going to go through to meet.
Take flight.
They haven't found any picks off the back of it. GX are playing pretty passive. Putting through the drone afterwards to confirm the fight's still here. Toki grabs one through the smoke, but an immediate trade as the smoke faded and left her out in the open. GX again, they've halted this play towards spawn, hoping that Ness can find value, and what a position! Tucked in just on time, looking for another challenge, and it will be Eva to find it as Ness lands SRN on backside. Bastarda surrounded, denied the ace in the previous, and this time it will be the same. No clutch for MIBR. GX finally on the board.
That's a huge play from Ness. The only player that would be able to get over the trip that was holding the backline, and the full faith in it from MIBR ended up being their undoing. Because Ness TP'd past it and just had a wonderful flank. Even still, what she does from here is impressive. The first kill was free, but anything else along the way was all her, creating space for the rest of the team. That's a rifles and even an operator on the attack side. It's going to be one for Smurfette as well. I had the expectation it could be there on the last map. Definitely seems like a plan here, and she'll get out with a good start, but a trade back already.
Yeah, the idea here was that they'd continue that push towards A after she dashes out. The value would be found by Ness, and Ness can stay here for most of the round. Having the ultimate for the instant rotation, which will be needed. Take a look at the B site. Pressure being put on there. Cage for the cross. Bastarda's going to go and meet them, and this is going to be a hit straight onto the site, held by only Toki. And there's no one close to her. They know where she is. Hunter's Fury chasing her down, and the ult isn't alone. Blade Storm was following it up, and Lisa swings in the open. Toki was being pushed on 3 fronts.
Yeah.
Couldn't find the fight on any of them.
Yeah, I think she was even stunned up by Lisa in the back line. Oh, wonderful flick from SRN. Always dangerous. And that danger cannot be stopped. 4 kills in the take of the B site. And well, what was a quick blip in the last round goes straight back to regular programming.
When you see SRN standing up, I mean, I think almost every time GX are going for that timeout right after. Big round.
I think you do that if SRN's sitting down as well.
Oh, but that confidence is really building up on that side. And even after that stellar performance, which look at this, the dash into the quick tap on Smurfette to close it out.
Almost just placing her into the backstab. Immediate usage of both the null command and the Cosmic Divide, but the Cosmic Divide is almost purely for bait purposes. It's like, okay, they've sectioned off this part of the map,
Spike planted.
but they still have all the info. They still have all the sound. They know where these players are coming from because of the player that they implanted earlier in the round.
No, doors open. Now they know, and SRN goes down. GX with the upper hand. Hunter's Fury is online. Do they want to put it through? The flood is already taking place, so there's no time for it. A full battle with 2 players up in heaven. One already spotted in the form of Bastarda. Lisa lands one up in hand. Another for Lisa. Triple kill after the 4K in the previous. And it looked like they were on shaky ground, but standing tall in the end. MIBR 7-1 up. There really is no stopping this squad.
It seems like we're just having a battle for who can put up the biggest rounds. This was super impressive from Lisa. And yeah, 2 for 1 collat in the middle of all of the madness. Look, if you all win 3 rounds apiece, you win the game. So she did her work at the beginning. Now it's someone else's chance. She's a generous teammate, as many Sovas are. Ever with a decent amount of early info. Hunter's Fury being thrown in. Sayuri Already took down Ness, and the aggression is waited for. In fact, they've even spotted the second player, but Sarah does well.
Spike down B.
Even while revealed, there's a flank coming in as well. An opportunity maybe for Smurfette to try and shut down a player on the other side, but SRN instead has come in, and Lisa is just waiting for her. Leaving one standing. Bastarda, of course, always in the back, always behind them. We mentioned the problem she could cause this. It's only the last kill of the round, but GX so much, if you've been watching them throughout the year, when they do find defeats in best of fives, it's always going to 5. They are very good at resetting. They're always good at coming back into a match. But I think they're going to need a tough talk, and maybe they just have one. Maybe there's something that Asuka could have said, and if it was find headshots with the Sheriff, maybe it's working.
That's the first, and Bastarda down to 5.
Yeah.
But how much more can they do? 3 players pushing, 2 on mid, 1 up behind. Yeah, they know about Ness, but the backup here might catch them off guard if they extend. MIBR. Oh! It's going to be Ness to catch them off. Nice kill, and now, okay, players spotted pushing on mid. Sayori needs to win this fight. Flash is good, but Ava, even better. And now 5 HP on Bastarda. She won't last long. It's GX battling back for their second round with a MasterCard Thrifty.
MIBR have played this map. They have won their attack half 9-3. Maybe they're looking to make it 5 in a row.
You want to fight it?
Toki in the smoke. I like the aggression this time. Not standing back, not waiting, but taking the fight to them. And look at the difference it has made. They can't even res that player without risking the spam. And now there's 3 players here spamming away is Sarah. Bastarda, though, keeping this one doable, baits them into the fight, but it's a fight that she will not win. 9-3.
Could have seen that coming.
GX with the bare minimum connected, but the real test comes on their attack.
They've had the time. They put the work in. Qualified off the points as well, so had a little bit longer a break than some of the other EMEA teams. So you already know that is not the start the GX were looking for. A headshot found through the smoke, trades immediate, crossfire, builds, and well, Ness completely stuck in the mud. Eva trying to flank him, but even just retreating back to Melissa. Maybe she's the queen of the early round. Even still, though, it's going to be Bastarda to close 10-3, and well, that lifeline of a pistol round, Mitch, it is gone.
Yeah. The first fistful of soil on the coffin at this point. GX being buried alive on this map, and you get to see why MIBR picked it coming into this. Obviously, when we talk about the attack side for GX as well, we don't expect them to bounce back based on history. But at this tournament, general teams, everyone should be facing that sort of difficulty. We'll see. Pistols could maybe turn the tide. Taking the second round with Classics, that would certainly put them on the right track.
Pushing into Sayori again. She's dodged the flash. It's an early spam. A lot of damage done. A chance, genuinely, to keep things level and pick up a gun or 2. That's about as good of a start as you ever could have hoped for with the weapons that were waiting on the other side. And there you go. Eva has managed to retrieve that Guardian. Still, though, 2 rifles and a sniper ready and waiting. This close position could make things interesting. In fact, it has. Down to the 1 versus 1. Ness yet to retrieve any form of weaponry. It would have to be the Classic to do it versus Melissa, who has been the queen of the early round so far. A chance to clutch out around, and well, it will be Ness to do it with the Classic. A MasterCard Thrifty to keep GX in the map.
Yeah, I think I said it before this round started. Just no doubt in my mind that GX were capable of taking that one. You know, the Classic buy, it's a dangerous one. How they've gotten away with that is
I don't know if you
mystifying.
Classic buy because they didn't buy anything.
You don't know that. They could have clicked it. You can drop it and buy another one. Always a good strat. But for MIBR, man, like, it's an upsetting round, but they have so many rounds to play with that the bounce back, you know, can take a while even.
Decent boost of credits as well, so the chances of having any pieces missing pretty much for the remainder of the map incredibly low.
Recovering it.
Feels like they have to break the back of their opponent. Waiting patiently up top is going to be Sayori. She wanted more than one, and that's exactly what she's found. The rotation in, though, from Melissa didn't get the same sort of value. The advantage now claimed.
Planted.
by that attack side, and with the post plant in, okay, they've cleared some of the closer angles with the cam, but it seems like GX have no plans to fight other than to deny that diffuser.
I mean, when you've got the Hunter's Fury as well, why bother? You have to commit a player to watching flank with no traps online, obviously not having a Sentinel. This is a bit scary, though. Now the players come forward as Ness lands 1 and 2 for a triple in the round, and a 6th on the board for GX. They don't even use their Hunter's Fury that's going to be kept for the next, and all things considered, again, it's a lights-out start to this half. They lose the pistol and go 3-1 up in the half. 4 rounds behind, though, still quite a gap.
See that confidence building though. I think one of the bigger factors, we saw even in the last map victory, Ness individually was struggling. She was not having a good game, and I feel like a lot of that was almost off, like, has come in late in the game. SRN though, this is nasty, or could be nasty. Maybe wanted a little bit more, gonna get caught boxed in. Just that tiny spot was enough to turn what could have been the play of the round into potentially their own demise.
Take flight.
A push on towards the site. Sayuri will be spotted. The off angles from her have been good so far, but under some pressure, but only from Smurfette. And the rest of the team might have to try and fall off the back of this one. That has not had the result they were hoping for when already having a player advantage.
I think another difficulty with how Bastarda changes up this utility. You never know what site is going to be free to hit into. Now, for GX, the A site was open for a moment. Lisa went back to cover it. And so GX could have found an easy fight over there, but they pumped the brakes. And now MIBR step off the B site. They're expecting that even if this is a B hit, there will be some presence towards middle. And now they know it. With that cam broken, Toki's been spotted, a known factor, and it looks like with 19 seconds left on the clock, MIBR are super happy to play this passive, a large part being because they have this ulti coming in from Sayuri. They have that Hunter's Fury from Melissa, and they have got a flood on the back of it. Info falling into their hands, and this plant, it might be found, but defending that spike is a near impossible feat, but they're making it look doable. Down to just 1. Ness alone against the Horde. Lisa and Melissa will close this for MIBR and finally put a round up for that defense again.
Yeah, that was a must-win. Yeah, the kill trip's in play.
And look how far back Bastarda's playing as well.
Because of that null command. I know that that's going to be coming in, so it's all a plan to set up SRN, who's actually going to be playing on the edge of the smoke, has been hit, so no dash available, and it's not pretty. SRN has had a couple of moments over the last few rounds where it seemed like she was going to be the playmaker, instead has been the one to be played.
For GX, no better a time for this to happen. Sarah just about makes it back, throws the knife in, at least manages to suppress 1 or 2. The utility coming out from MIBR as they now look to flood. This is a big fight though. 4 players still in main for GX. They lose the first in the form of Ness, but not before the trades come in, not before she draws blood, and with Lisa left alone, it will be a convincing hold from GX. Damage done, but only 1 player falling, and they're right back to winning ways.
Well, they're going to need her to be a constant factor here once again with the Blade Storm. The only real danger was almost removed immediately. Oh, a nasty first knife. Will go straight into the dome of Smurfette.
I think they might even do so. You can see Ava going for this deep control. This is a very risky round to go for these flank plays, though, to go deep into spawn. Like, not only are you risking being overwhelmed from all these angles, but if you go down, that's a rifle picked up by your opponents. The Blade Storm's already spotted her. Eva somehow still alive, but will be dropped, and now a big upgrade in play. Won't be taken by SRN, instead Sayuri. And a 5 versus 2 that maybe even looks favorable to MIBR now.
Good thing will be for GX. They'll have a plant available. SRM from above has actually managed to take down 1. Toki fighting has done a lot of damage, but it's left onto Ness. You mentioned the step up that she's had, the performance she's been putting in while leading the team, and now opts for a reposition. The risk, though, the smoke is still in play. An opportunity as they go to fight, but she will take down both! The Loch Ness Monster returns for the Red Bull clutch.
MIBR must have felt like, finally, this is our round. A 5v3, a rifle recovered, a Blade Storm still online for SRN. That weapon gifted to them, and SRN even finds a third. Toki runs out of ammo on the spray, everything set them up for success, and that little spray!
Oh, maybe they just were. Maybe enough. Still, the lead sits with our opponent still. It's not going to be easy, and a flash that's helped out Ness there again. But the reveal's helping out. Bastarda still within this smoke, still looking to cause them issues. Ness has found another, but the trade is there once again. Ness is looking to do it all. The clutch seemingly bringing her to an even different level than what we saw throughout this map so far. Looking to try and lead the charge. A first map to forget, maybe a second map to remember.
Well, SRN still online and already spotted one. Rifle recovered, Ness down, and it's Sarah who has to clutch it out. Lisa gets MIBR a 12th. Walking through that smoke for the quick trade. I like it though. When you've got 3 rounds to play with 3 chances.
They had a lot more than 3. I don't know if I'd want to give one away for free.
yeah, but then playing in on a mixed 5 for multiple rounds.
Maybe.
Better to just come in strong, believe in yourself. An operator finding one. Oh, hold on! They might not need to worry about the future. Well, SRN down though, this becomes difficult. Lisa and Bastarda, well, 2 players that you certainly believe in, regardless of the weapon in their hands. The
operator for Lisa, I definitely believe now.
One shot to the body for Lisa. In comes Bastarda with the Guardian in play. Almost had the right angle. That would have been a freebie onto Eva, who has no idea.
That's the spike as well.
There's a player right above her.
Left.
And with 30 seconds and a complete freeze from GX, it looked for a moment like MIBR would start to step away from this site.
Yeah, they're trying to find themselves
Spot
safe spot. Maybe even trying to wait for a smoke to be online. Lisa's weaponry now becomes a slight bit less valuable. She's going to be the one to try and take charge in the front of the smoke, maybe give an opportunity as they wait. A nice shot from Bastarda, though, has definitely made this a little bit more interesting. Toki waiting, the fake smoke doesn't work, and it's Eva to potentially close from the top line. A 10th round for GX, but as was pointed out, that was only a couple of saved weapons. Even after the victory, didn't want to send their entire economy into this one.
More convincing comebacks, or more convincing
Even
games
on
for their
this map.
opponents. Yes, exactly, exactly. More than 9-1, I'll tell you that. But the reality is, it feels like when you're 9-1 down, the best you can do is wish on a fallen star, and that never did me any good. But for GX, it certainly has brought them back into the game. 10-12, and I think that will stand to them if they do lose here, because it's not like they got absolutely smashed. They know, hey, if we played even 10% better in that first half,
yeah,
it's a different game altogether. And then they move on to split, where they'll feel much more comfortable. Again, this was not the map that they came into today thinking we're going to push MIBR to their limits, and they have.
I guess the only counter to that, though, like, you're going to have the relief for MIBR if they close it, but also you'll now be disappointed if you're GX. If you get blown out, you kind of go, okay, that went badly, but you bring it all the way back and then lose? No one enjoys a fake comeback. 2 rounds needed, 1 for the side of MIBR to close it. They have come in, switch things up for the most part, but they do still have themselves a couple of Guardians instead. As said, they haven't got the perfect buy even after waiting.
Oh, the dive's already come through. Smurfette up close looking for the fight, but will be dropped as SRN falls. The Jet's already out of play, but it's GX with a flurry of frags to find themselves a massive advantage. MIBR have Bastarda and Melissa again. Ness still drawing breath. The rest of the squad, sure, some are tagged up, but they don't need to fight. It's a little bit risky. In a 1v3, it looks like they've already got the dub. Economy low for MIBR, and saving this rifle now seems far more economical than going for a 1 versus 3. Regardless of how close Bastarda's made those rounds in the past, the stakes here, they are pretty high compared to that first map. MIBR now facing a potential overtime, as the next round is going to see its fair share of weaknesses. I think maybe more excitingly, a Blade Storm for Smurfette. Yeah, MIBR seemingly cursed in this half now on the pistols, but this is where they've done so much damage in the past. Hunter's Fury there for Melissa. Smurfette able to make it to the site, luckily. But the challenge from MIBR will come in later. Playing to deny that plant, and Toki watching for that, gets caught off, completely deleted by the Hunter's Fury too. GX want to respond with a deep push towards the spawn. Smurfette has an angle, but the Blade Storm doesn't land. It's a disaster. Falling seemingly at the final hurdle as a 5 versus 3 comes into play. Rifles recovered for MIBR as well. They are fighting with weapons now. No weaknesses left, and it's falling across the board for GX. Ness left to pick up the pieces. It's close, but one shot away from OT. Instead, map number 3 locked in with a last-second win for MIBR.
God.
And it's a standard as well for this team, specifically for MIBR. So as teams, as both of these players are starting to heat up a little bit, I still have confidence in MIBR and GIANTX to make this a close map.
I'm so excited to see what they're going to cook, but then at the same time, Bastarda has been unreal when she's played the Yoru, so I think this is going to be a nasty map of Valorant.
I expect nothing less. Early fight towards B main sends just a 1-for-1 trade. Damage done onto Toki, who barely managed to survive that, but the orb will be claimed nonetheless. And MIBR's tactic here was to make noise on B, but send the players to the A site slowly and sneakily, and it has worked wonderfully. They have got full control of plant. You know, Melissa's very far away, but not needed for now. And look at this deep spot they've taken towards the spawn. GX have to be so careful on the way back in.
It's normally a position where you have some form of expectation of, but it's also that long wraparound coming back in from Melissa. Like, they have got both sides of the map sort of locked down, and I feel like this is a nasty trap that Toki is going to be walking into. SRN still hasn't been spotted. She knows there's a deeper player, but Sarah's done very well on the other side. So I feel like it's almost going to be swings and roundabouts, and Toki is just sort of playing with the remaining 2. She knows where they are, and somehow has managed to live a lot longer than expected. Sayori, though, has done well on the site, at least buying a little bit of extra time. This nade needs to do damage, and maybe it'll do just enough. It will! It has denied the defusal. SRN with a last-minute dunk for the Red Bull clutch. For the side of MIBR, it's almost getting back to regular programming if they can continue what they did in the last match.
Oh, Sarah's gotten there just in time. A second later in that fight, may well have been a death sentence. That nade, though, has sent Sarah right into Melissa. Down to a sliver of health, but it's enough to stay alive as the cross comes in on mid, but it's spotted. That was a very necessary break of the Boombot. Almost taking the kill and doing lots of damage, and Sarah's just confident enough to keep on swinging. A triple kill in mid, and relatively easy looking round for GX, or I guess for Sarah.
The upper bracket.
I'll find you.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any easy games throughout this tournament. Well, what a start already for Bastarda. Sarah once again in a little bit of trouble, but you never know. Maybe that means the opponent's in trouble.
It often does. MIBR. Wow. They've put a lot of players towards B, giving up on that mid control, and hope here was that Lisa could contain that late round space.
Just a dry
maybe
peek,
play
by
the
the way.
lurk, but yeah, you were expecting to see something before a swing there. Toki now under a lot of pressure, but Eva's here to back her up. The flash as well going to be popped, and no swing. Toki isolated. At least manages one more, but the lurk up mid from Bastarda. Even on 30 HP, she's able to bring this into an advantageous spot, leaving Sarah alone, and Sarah wisely decides to try to isolate this fight, knowing there's only one player, but Melissa gets the better of her. A 3K for Melissa, and a third round for MIBR as a result.
A very good round from her individually. There was a lot of points of this where it felt like it easily could have swung back in the other's favor. A nice couple of bait plays. Especially when you lose your lurk on the other side of the map, it's just some raw aggression, but she does well to steady the ship, isolating both players within the back of that B site and closing out the round in turn.
Boa, Melissa, caralho!
To the top of the board, and more importantly also getting that Nightfall online. There's still a buy here, but when you have that ult, it can be problematic. An early fight, and well, the trade's going firmly in the favor of MIBR.
Wow, there is next to nothing that Eva can do about this in a 1v3 other side of the map as well. That clock is going to be ticking. At this point, you just probably better off, as you say, just carrying that weapon forward to the next round.
The entry options are good.
You know, you can do anything with it. You can hold the site, you can take the site, and you can play for the post plant. So for MIBR, they're up against an eco as well. They could potentially have 3 rounds off the back of the eco, and then the ults, but they're going to play this safe, and oh, it's found so much value for SRN. 1 ulti committed. There's one on the other side, though. This is going to get a little spooky. Luckily, Paranoia has done its job. Sarah is taking down Sayori, and this is not quite as clean-cut as it seemed like it would be.
Yeah, they managed to get another rifle. Sarah has found a kill. The problem is the amount of damage that was done already. It was a very nice attempt. And I don't think we came into that round expecting only 1 player to survive from MIBR, but it's one that, although costly, I don't think they'll mind too much because they traded out a lot of the opponent's ults while also using a couple of their own.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think Smurfette made the right call, right? In a round like that, you have the showstopper, you know they're bursting out at that point, and you found the pick. That is 100% the right call. Really good work from Sayori to put through that Paranoia. What surprises me is the fact that MIBR used massive advantage in this round. They find a lot of information here. The starter, TP's back, and now it's the A-take. If they get boots on the ground here, Viper's pick goes up, and this becomes another round where MIBR seemingly have a chokehold.
Much damage. Eva's done well, but the damage isn't going to mean anything until Sarah swings. That's at least made things interesting.
No pit.
Ness had a rough first map, a fantastic second, and now seems to be struggling again in the third. And while Melissa, she has been deadly so far in this first half. Puts her 10th kill onto the board, and while with only Toki standing, sure, there's 2 very low HP players, those duelists, but look how far away she is. She is purely playing for the post. And even she'll expect that Toki's going to come looking for her. Like, you can't leave that player in the back line and look to try and win this round. And the second any contact is made, she'll look to go running, but instead, just the time bought alone is enough for Toki to have to fall back, and Melissa may even just execute her at the end. No, she will be allowed to escape, but at a 6-1 scoreline, I don't think MIBR will care too much.
And it looks like now a redirect. Ness is going to ult onto the ramp, and they can immediately dive in the back of it, but that was all a bait.
Nothing.
Every bait and switch, a work of art for MIBR, but they lose one still. Ness able to find it with the operator, locking down mid, and now leaving MIBR without much choice. It looks like those 3 players will walk out. No! Smurfette at least gets 1, and Toki somehow finds it through the wall.
Yeah, off the contact. That gave enough information, and what was initially going to be a take onto the A site and a TP from Sayori. Now, she's probably quite happy that she's on the other side of the map, because there really isn't much space there at all. Any damage also able to be healed from that Sky, and it is looking like they're going to fall straight into a retake setup, especially with the way that the best B site plants normally have that opportunity for main. When you have the Cosmic Divide available for Toki, you can section that off. So if anything, MIBR are probably hoping someone will fight them here. And unless Sarah's thinking of taking a pretty hefty risk, which kind of is, we'll just wait instead.
I mean, they really have to drop the ball on this one. Bastarda and Sayori, although the map may be favored to them with the streak of rounds, the advantage they have, for now at least. The odds are certainly stacked against them in this one. Time ticking, though. GX step out, all 4 from one angle. It's going to be an isolated fight. Bastarda does well with the first, but that is all she wrote. As a defuse inevitable now, GIANTX finally landing themselves that second round. They've taken a while. It'll be a slow approach by MIBR, looking to make this a punchy round onto the A site.
Bring them down.
The pressure on the shoulders of Smurfette, 2 away from that showstopper being online again, but those picks won't come easy. Managed to slip into position, but that flash from Bastarda, absolutely perfect. The A site crumbles within seconds, and MIBR I love this, just going back to punchy plays at times that work wonders for this squad. Viper's pit, oh, look at the shape of that pit too. It has given them so much control, and
Face your fear!
not even sure they needed to do that, but really covering all their bases. The Nightfall is going to buy so much time that GX might even just save.
Yeah, they want to make sure that this round is confirmed. Don't want to give anybody an opportunity to try and clutch, and just making sure that
8-2. I mean, it seems like a damning scoreline, but we said that on Abyss. You can hold your breath for these comebacks. Ness, oh, that pressure is huge! SRN diving in, that op shot hurt, and like a shark with blood in the water, she just swam straight in there, full speed ahead. Advantage for the attackers, but they haven't cleared the site just yet. Eva's there, but not for long. And the rope being taken is very well and truly heard.
Spike planted.
This one again has fallen apart. And for GX, the question of do they just carry this forward, look to fight the final round with the best weapons that they possibly can, or do they throw themselves into this with a chance for an 8-4 still there? It looks like that's the choice.
Smurfette Showstopper available, but the same is there for the other side. SRN just playing up top, knowing that the time is on MIBR's side. An additional member to this squad, and while Smurfette can only go running to her demise, Toki has an opportunity on the site but gets absolutely nothing. 9 again over on this attack for MIBR. They are looking fearsome.
Even if it is an open and shut case, you'd never be able to know from the look on their faces. The morale certainly high, happy to be playing here on that stage in Seoul, but they need to find success here. They need that 9-3, and the showstopper, luckily countered by the refract. No kill found, but SRN still trading out on backside.
SRN has started to take over. A nice shot from Sarah, that's the spike down. SRN shut down as well, and by the looks of it, 9-3 is just the scoreline of the halves. Unless Lisa has something to say, but it is a 3-player stack up. He's going to try and create a little bit of additional space, but finding a freebie here seems impossible. There's at least a lot of time to play with, and that's the one thing that may start to get into the heads of the opponents. But Sarah's watching, and Smurfette is immediately available for the trade. It will be 9-3 once again. GX at least with a glimmer of hope.
9-3 is the scoreline for MIBR. This pistol, as you said, carries a lot of weight. For them, they can bounce back if they lose it. It's whatever, but for GX, this is do or die. At least it feels that way. Nice paranoia. That's so damning. Ness dives in, and immediately she knows the best she can do is probably damage as they run their way around the site, putting the pressure on. Sayuri still drawing breath in the end. It could be a flawless round, and indeed it will be. We said GX needed to win this one. They didn't even make a dent.
Oh, that was confident.
But right now, they are leagues apart.
Now, without that lifeline, it really does feel damning. They're going to have an absurd streak of rounds once again, and MIBR are not looking to let them have anything. SRN has decided that it is time that this series is complete. And with already a couple to her name, 17 on the board overall, needs a recovery. Eva will be able to at least put things back into contention. A lot of damage done onto Melissa as well, who will be forced to retreat. Sarah trying a lurk on the other side of the map, and I think she's been spotted. The fight not going to go away. Her doppelganger of a Viper taking her out, and now they'll have a player advantage going into this retake.
But no flank control for GX. Garage is a disaster waiting to happen, and so they decide to get a little bit aggressive ahead of the problem. As Eva's already walked through the spawn, in goes the Gravwell, and now Eva looking for this fight, presumably. I thought maybe Toki would go up, but no.
Paranoia.
Still down bottom and gets caught by Paranoia, deleted as a result, but Eva pulling them back into this falls. Again, the final hurdle is what it comes down to. Running the race are GX, but miles behind as MIBR leading now with just one left. So many chances. I mean, look, you come in here, we saw a streak of rounds for GX in the previous map, but if you come in and believe in 9 rounds in a row on the attack side plus OT victory, I don't think you've been watching much of MIBR.
No, I think as well that from Eva there, she's a little bit unlucky. Just
so fucking bad, bro!
A road that maybe it'll be slightly longer, but they are looking to make it back to the grand final. They did it last year, tasted defeat in the final match of the tournament. Of course, to Shopify. No one's surprised there, but they are looking to set their campaign off with a bang. SRN tagged up and will be executed. Melissa already into the site, but maybe a little bit ahead of everybody else. That's given a 2-player advantage. And well, maybe the start of what needs to be an impressive streak as 1 by 1 MIBR fall.
Spike planted.
Yeah, I mean, Tom, you talked a little bit about your 9-3. The 12-3 odds, I think it's fair to say, might be a little bit more heavily stacked against you.
Doctor Strange to come out.
If there's even one multiverse, or one
maybe
universe
John
where you get
QT,
this.
whichever one you are.
Yeah.
Really impressive. The last one ended up slipping away from them, but they still closed it out. This one, I don't think there's any slipping to be had. A weaker purchase. They've been playing it safe on a lot of occasions, not overly investing when they have these leads, but even still making them close. The starter has been a big part of that. She's been so irritating to play against. With already a player advantage, she might be able to get in and try and find them while behind. The danger is coming in from Toki, though.
Planted.
This definitely feels like the beginning of the end, but GX, they'll fight tooth and nail to try to take this across the line. Their second of the 9 in a row needed, now confirmed and locked in, but for MIBR,
maybe they'll throw one in if a couple go the other way, but first we need to see a couple go the other way. It's aggressive from Nest. This failed last time, but succeeds this time. A good start to the round. Starter always pressuring the other side of the map, though. He's actually forced Sarah all the way back. The plant coming in, though. And this is going to be a very long rotation back. This one might be free if Sarah steps any further back, but it does mean that Bastarda has to walk. Now, the time that's being wasted may end up being worse if she doesn't find large amounts of value, but there is a good chance that she does.
Oh, walking by Sarah, but that might even be better with 2 players in main having no idea that their flank is wide open. SRN finding one, but here comes Bastarda, an easy first. The second comes with it, and a 2 versus 2. Still a chance, but time is ticking. They need to be quick, and they've already put it down to just 1. Sarah with GX's upper bracket life in her hands, and it slipped through her fingers. Defuse confirmed. MIBR have done it. 13-5, a labored first and second map, but this one looks dominant.